They've made up so much ground with just this one episode that my body wasn't ready to handle all the lore, fan service, and meat eating. Y'all, speaking of meat eating, we were eating so good with this week's Don Bros that I don't even have time to do any opening bits, cause we just get the deepest of lore. So let's get to talking. On this episode of Don Bros 29, the Noto High Council finally have their presence in the show, though the reveal still has that little bit of air of mystery since they're dressed like they're about to go to a swingers party, with Murasame finally bringing in Sonoi's body to them after he's been lugging around that corpse for about 2 weeks now. His price for the corpse? Freedom! But it's here that we get our first insight into Murasame. Though serving the council, he escaped his test tube before his testicles dropped, which is why he sounds like he sounds. Even though he's voiced by a guy in his 30s who still looks like he's 12, but we don't talk about that. Questioning himself, he asked Mother what he should do, though she was the one that freed him for reasons not yet known, so she just tells him to keep on fighting to be whole again. But that might be too much for him to chew on. Speaking of things to chew on, Taro's got a big of a sandwich, and he's ready to tear out a new one. But the hell is this? Who sticks a random note into a sandwich? He takes it to the rest of the bros to emphasize how the note ruined his perfectly good sandwich, and slathering all of its sauce on it instead. The note is actually a 3D projection of the Council of Noto extending a funeral invite to Taro, though not much can be made from it since the sauce was just that strong. But would the Noto Council really invite the remaining head of the Don clan right into their base without any strings attached? Probably not, but Taro still got mad respect for his main mans, but has beef with the council, so he's in. Taro gets transported to a prep room with the cute honeys of the Fanfare Squad out here dressed in black. Y'all, we drink into that one. Meanwhile, Zenoni and Sonoza are bummed out that they didn't get an invite to the funeral, but they wonder why Sonoi's last words to them was to seek out baby Murasame. This week's Monster of the Week is brought to you by Productivity, with some boss man who has no correlation to any one of our characters and transforming into the Aba Ranger Hitotsuki. We're not even 6 minutes into the episode when the Jutos show up, trying to eat them some of that there Anonis. But when Murasame shows up, they make a run for it, when Jiro now gets in on the fray. Swapping from good to evil Jiro just can't bring himself to fight someone who seeks to die themselves. But curiosity gets the better of him, and against Mother's orders, he gets the info on Jiro we didn't see coming. Actually, we should have, but I didn't think that they would go this deep into Son Goku lore, but we sure did. But before all that, the Jutos strike once more, but wait, I thought they were unkillable. Meanwhile, Sononi and Sonoza take notice to exactly what just happened. There's more to Murasame than just being a footnote in those episodes he was introduced. Let's take a moment to appreciate some Taro shenanigans. Now back to Evil Jiro, who we find out is actually original recipe Jiro. I know, I was shocked too. See, when baby Goku landed on Earth, he had one goal in mind: taking over the world, becoming the greatest warrior in the process. Oh wait, that's Dragon Ball. Or is that Journey to the West? We should have seen this coming. But hey, I'm glad they did it. As a kid, his country-ass friends played a game on him that actually twisted his nature, locking up his regular side and creating another persona that just wanted to be friends with everybody. When new/old Jiro takes back over, he tries to comprehend why there's two of him, as it's a step towards figuring out his true selves. Look, random, rampant speculation, but I believe in the story of Journey to the West, Wukong becomes the guardian of the Peach Garden, and eating the peach nets him immortality. Now, I doubt they would take that approach, but it's good speculation that Jiro's going to end up getting a proper power-up in some way, shape, or form, probably from the acceptance of his position adjacent to Taro. Okay, enough speculation. Let's get back to the plot. Murasame throws a nugget that there's actually two people inside of him as well, since I guess Mother is actually inside of him and not just some displaced voice. Pleasantries come to an end as the Hitotsuki strikes. With our bros showing up, they get the assist from the unlikely pairing. But how are they gonna handle that huge-ass, big-ass Abba Ranger logo slam? All this while Taro gets to feast on some cotton candy, courtesy of the Noto. Wait, so are the fanfare folks Noto? Back to the fighting, baby Murasame's tuckered out from playtime, so he goes nap in his sword and takes off. All this while Tsubasa is getting chased by now retired Detective Juto. The sword finds its way into his possession, making him get a bloodlust. Though as that happened, no longer Detective Judo makes his escape with Miho making her debut. Y'all, what the fuck? They are face to face, and Tsubasa has no idea what's even going on. A quick origami fight later, and Sononi and Sonoza show up, taking him on directly. Meanwhile, possessed Sononi.
Start up. Time out.
Loses control of herself and goes after her own. Finally, after all the buildup, Taro is finally at the funeral of his guy. Now a widow, he only has one regret. They didn't savor those steamy nudes together. But the real reason why he's there to begin with, the fuck y'all out here putting invitations in someone's sandwich like that? But Taro's not gonna let his meat and buns go to waste. So, the Noto Council has to devour that man's footlong. After getting their throats stuffed, they give Taro an empty sock to finish himself on in return, with the husk of Sonoi taking arms against him. Though he quickly beats the meat puppet, it takes full-on penetration to get through to him. Though, that's just what they wanted, and they give Taro the mega suck, taking all his energy in the process. Back with the bros, Sononi gets the Ninjark beaten out of her. Now, it's Shinichi's turn to... yeah, he can't handle it either. It's important to note that it seems that anyone that touches the blade can't go into their normal transform state. Taro finally makes his way to the battlefield, but after the mega suck from earlier, he's shooting blanks. Okay, look, I may be writing these jokes, but the writers know exactly what they're doing. I mean, look at this imagery right after that suck and tell me it's not an innuendo. I'll wait. As Shinichi gets the Ninjark beaten out of him as well, it's now Taro's turn to... oh. He's back to full power now? And he's transformed? What is this sword? He takes full advantage of the blade, taking the Hitotsuki to big size. But when the sword wants more, Taro's already had his fill of pole for one day. So, it's time to take on the Hitotsuking with our new Gatai, which lasts for about less than a minute, with a new peach-themed finisher. With the Hitotsuki finished, we join Sononi and Sonoza and the Ninjark sword once more. This time, Sonoza's got a new ability. Right out his ass. And he uses manga to seal the blade, which seems counterintuitive, since it can beat a Juto to use origami, but, you know, whatever. Back at the funeral, we see that the jisms sucked from Taro earlier are used to give Sonoi the proper shower he deserved in life, reactivating his lust once more. Y'all, I can't. Damn you, Inoue! You went all in. Wet time! Rating time! This episode was a blast of an experience from start to finish in more ways than one. Not only did we get so much lore and backstory, but we got new seeds planted. So, this episode is getting the Sononi S Plus Maximum Thirst Nickelodeon Splat Edition. Where do we even begin with this one? Okay, so Don Murasame as a character finally gets an explainer, but since next week we'll focus on that aspect in some way, there's only little time to do so. So let's speculate a little bit. Being that the Juto were failed creations of the Don Clan, it's fair to assume that only Don Clan members, or maybe just limited to their royals, have the ability to take them down. Though, since we never properly got Taro fighting one, this wasn't proven or disproven at the same time, with Don Murasame possibly being an artificial attempt by the Noto to create a Don Clan member without the baggage that could be the reason why he was made to fight. This would also shed light on why picking up the blade did not possess control of Taro. It just seemed to repower him up. But the battle experience serving to upgrade him up to his full potential, whatever that is, it's not what we're looking at now. since the sword itself might actually end up being his true form. Thus, Murasame may just be an instrument for a future team member to wield. Hell, it's very possible that the sword might end up in Sanoi's hands, as there appears to be a setup for that as well. Since Sanoi planned for Murasame to bring him to the council, have him fill Sanoi up with Taro's juices, and in return, he should be able to wield the Ninjark sword without any drawbacks. I swear, if they call him Son Murasame, I'm done. On the flip side of things, yes, Jiro turned out to not be the real Jiro, or at least the original. As mentioned before, it's a full-on Son Goku reference, but it's flipped on its head since Goku is not the OG. Though since the story of Journey to the West is one of self-enlightenment, I feel that Jiro's true final form, or upgrade, will come from his re-understanding of himself. The Noto Council, though semi-revealed, still have their own goofy air of mystery. Also, the fanfare squad that brings Taro in are just Noto? Or something to that degree? That's something. But there's so much information and so little time to digest it. As with next week, we're going full on in with the Juto conflict. Will we now get to see more about their society, as Miho always shows up to fight off the Tiger Juto? We might get an explainer to why and who captured her, which might actually be our endgame boss for the series. And it's been in front of us this whole time. But with a common enemy, will the alliance formed next week lead to a newfound team? Y'all, I am absolutely hyped for this. How about you? How are you feeling about this lore-heavy DonBrothers? Taro sandwich, what kind of sauce did it have? Should he have shaved those armpits? Possess Sanoni and Ninjarking off. Anyway, that's it for me. I've got to go dry off. Is that a thing? Nah, I'm fine. Bye.